Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take the sources you send us, articles, research notes, and pull out the key insights, helping you get informed fast. Today, we are diving deep into a moment that really captured the internet's attention. A seemingly harmless kiss cam moment at a Coldplay concert that kind of spiraled into this whole corporate and personal drama. We've got a bunch of recent reports on this, and our mission is to unpack what happened, why it struck such a chord, and maybe what it tells us about, privacy today.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How this fleeting bit of crowd fun, something we've seen a million times, suddenly becomes this huge case study on, like, virality, corporate ethics, and where personal privacy even begins or ends anymore.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We all kind of know what a kiss cam is, right, from
Yeah.
sports games. But how did that set the stage here? Maybe start with the basics for anyone unfamiliar.
Sure. So kiss cams, they popped up in the US back in the 80s, mostly at sporting events, really just meant as a lighthearted way to fill time, get the crowd involved. A camera finds couples, puts them on the big screen, encourages a kiss. Simple fun, usually.
Right, a long-standing tradition. But clearly something went wrong this time. So what was this specific Coldplay incident everyone's talking about?
So this happened July 16th at Gillette Stadium in Boston, Coldplay concert. And the kiss cam is doing its thing, panning the crowd, and it lands on these two people, Andy Byron, who's the CEO of a company called Astronomer Inc., and Kristen Cabot, the HR lead at the same company.
Okay, CEO and HR lead. And what happened when the camera hit them? Did they, play along?
No, not at all, actually. They looked really uncomfortable, ducked away pretty obviously, trying to avoid the camera, avoid the whole kiss thing. And that prompted Chris Martin, Coldplay's frontman, to notice and make a joke from the stage. He said something like, either they're having an affair or they're shy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that joke, caught on video, that was the real spark. It wasn't just the awkward moment. It was the immediate, very public speculation layered on top by a celebrity.
Right. And that's where things really took off online, I imagine.
Yeah.
How does a brief concert moment, even with a joke like that, become this massive internet thing practically overnight?
It's the speed that's incredible. The video just exploded. On TikTok alone, the view counts went past 60 million.
60 million.
Yeah. And it wasn't just passive watching. People jumped on it. Memes started popping up, even fake merchandise designs, and endless speculation, obviously, fueled directly by Chris Martin's comment about the affair.
So it's like the comment gave everyone permission to speculate almost.
Exactly. It created this narrative void. You have this ambiguous visual, the awkward ducking away, and then this suggestive comment from a famous person. People online love to fill in those blanks, They co-create the story. It wasn't just about what happened, but about constructing why it might have happened.
That makes sense. It becomes participatory. But this wasn't just internet chatter, right? There were actual consequences for the people involved, for the company.
Oh, absolutely. Very real consequences. The corporate side moved fast. Astronomer Inc.'s board, understandably, launched a formal investigation because their CEO was suddenly at the center of this huge public, scandal, essentially.
Right.
And the direct result was that Andy Byron, the CEO, was placed on leave. It also spilled into his personal life pretty dramatically. There were reports his wife removed his last name from her Facebook profile, which says a lot about the immediate, painful impact.
Yeah. That's intense. And what about Kristen Cabot, the HR lead? She was right there, too. Did she face the same kind of heat?
That's a really interesting point, because while she was obviously central to the moment on camera, most of the public focus and certainly the immediate corporate action seemed to land squarely on Byron, the CEO. It kind of highlights this potential imbalance in what some people call spotlight shame, that sudden harsh glare of public attention when a private moment goes viral. It seems it didn't fall equally on both individuals involved, at least not initially or publicly.
It's pretty sobering how quickly things can unravel from just being in the wrong place when a camera pans by. Which brings up a bigger question. Why are we so drawn to these little micro dramas, these private moments of ordinary people becoming mass entertainment? What's that about?
Yeah, it's a perfect example of what researchers are calling microdrama culture. This idea that everyday private moments, maybe caught by accident, get thrown into the public arena and we consume them like entertainment.
Yep.
Major news outlets, Vanity Fair, ABC News, Glamour, they've all talked about this trend.
So it's a recognized thing.
Definitely. And it points to huge privacy risks, doesn't it? In this age where phones are everywhere, any moment in public could be filmed, shared globally in seconds. The expectation of privacy, even in a crowd, feels, incredibly flimsy now. This incident really shows that intense, often unfair spotlight shame we mentioned.
So why do these real-life scandals grab us differently than, say, A funny cat video or a nostalgic trend? What's the specific appeal?
Well, I think there's something fundamentally human about being curious about real-life drama, especially if it seems to involve, power, like a CEO, or maybe secrets or breaking rules.
Right.
Unlike a light meme, these scandals feel authentic. They offer this glimpse into what seems like real human conflict, real stakes. It taps into our curiosity about social rules, about consequences. Maybe there's a bit of schadenfreude sometimes, too, that little thrill at someone else's trouble.
Possibly.
And it's a story that unfolds, right? There are characters, there's tension, there are real consequences playing out. That narrative can be way more gripping than fiction because, well, it's actually happening to real people.
So tracing it back, it starts with a kiss cam, a tradition, then an awkward moment, a joke, and boom, it escalates online into a corporate investigation, personal fallout, and this whole public spectacle.
It really does. It's this collision, isn't it, between a pretty innocent old school tradition and the speed and, frankly, the often brutal nature of social media judgment today. It shows how public spaces aren't just physical anymore. They're instantly connected to a global digital stage, often without us even realizing it. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, I think, for all of us. As more of our lives play out in these public, potentially recordable spaces, how do we even navigate that? The balance between just living spontaneously, having some expectation of privacy, and this undeniable pull towards watching these human dramas unfold. What's the responsibility of the platforms? What's our responsibility as viewers when we watch and share?
Lots to think about there. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into the Coldplay Kiss Cam story. We hope unpacking it gave you some fresh perspective on how private moments become public property online. If you enjoyed this, please follow the deep dive wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic.